Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this World of Warcraft PTR Preview video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the new End Time dungeon that will be being released with the 4.3 content patch. Now, just a quick background for those of you that don't know what this dungeon's about. Basically you're time travelling into the future and you're going to see what Azeroth would be like if Deathwing was to succeed in the destruction of the world. And basically what you need to do is you need to rectify things. I'm not that good with the lore, but you need to rectify things so that the future isn't a shithole. And as you just saw there, you've got Deathwing impaled on Wyrmrest Temple, because if I remember correctly, the old gods didn't need him anymore because he'd done his job, so they just killed him off or something, or he went crazy. I can't really remember. Either way, this dungeon is a combination of 5 bosses. However, the first 2 bosses are always random and the third one is always static. So for the first 2 you could either fight the Echo of Bane, Echo of Jaina, Echo of Sylvanas, or Echo of Tyrande, and then for the third one you'd fight Morozond. Okay, so this is one of the first 4 possible bosses you could have, and this is the Echo of Bane. It's a relatively simple fight based on these 4 platforms here. It's nothing really specific, although it is pretty cool what he does, I'm not gonna lie. Mechanics are very simple. He's got a few abilities. His first one is called Molten Mace, and if he comes into contact with the lava, he will ignite his mace and it will cause melee attacks to inflict 10,000 additional fire damage to the tank. And players who contact the lava ignite their fists, causing melee attacks to inflict 10,000 additional fire damage. So it kind of works both for the boss and for you. Can't moan at that. His second ability is called Pulverize, and this is where he will jump onto one of the platforms and make it crack and break. This is where whoever was standing on that platform needs to move through the lava swiftly onto a new platform. Hopefully the fight won't be going on that long, and you won't have to put up with losing all of the platforms. And finally, his third and final ability is called Throw Totem, and you saw this happen to me a second ago. This is where he will throw his totem at a random player and inflict 60,000 physical damage to them and knock them back, so it'll obviously knock you into the lava. What's cool about this though is you can pick up the totem and throw it back to him, and when you throw it back at Bane, it will inflict 10% physical damage and it will stun him for 6 seconds, increasing the damage he takes by 100% as well. It's a pretty simple fight. Hopefully this dungeon specifically, will be a lot more pug friendly. But yeah, can't moan at it. Okay, so we're now going to quickly move on to look at Jaina, and this upcoming clip is just the little pre-section that you have to do in order to get her to spawn. And basically what you have to do is there's these little fragments of her staff lying around the area, and you've just got to click on 16 of them and use them in order for her to spawn. It's pretty simple really. Okay, now for the actual fight itself, and it's quite a short fight. There's not much to it, although she does have a few abilities that you have got to look out for. Her first ability is basically a blink, and she'll just blink away from you. I don't know why she does this, but she does. Her second ability is called Pyroblast, and she will inflict 45,000 fire damage to an enemy, and then it'll apply a dot, like the standard mage Pyroblast would, I guess. Her third ability is called Frostbolt Volley, a bit like on the Death Whisper encounter, if you can remember that back in the days of ICC. She will basically send frostbolts out to everyone and slow you. It's kind of annoying, but live with it, I guess. Fourth ability is called Frostblades, and she will basically spawn 3 blades in front of her, like you can just see on the screen there. And if you get hit by the blades, you will become a block of ice and you'll be stunned for 5 seconds, so you don't really want to be getting stunned. It's going to make you look like an idiot. And her final ability is called Flare Core. Now, Flare Core is what you just saw me run over there. and she will throw the flare claw at the ground, and it will explode if touched and deal 5,000 to 50,000 fire damage to you and whoever is standing near you. However, if you don't walk over and detonate it, it'll deal 94,000 fire damage to everyone that's fighting Jaina. So it's best if you get someone to just run over it and absorb it, as I learned during this fight. Now we're going to take a look at Sylvanas. This fight's... I like this fight. It actually requires people to kind of communicate, I guess you could say. I suppose that's okay. Yeah, don't really know what to say. She has quite a few abilities, and most of them are AoE abilities, so you want to make sure you are spread out with at least 15 yards range. The first ability is called Shriek of the Highborn. She will target a random enemy, inflict 50,000 shadow damage to them, and slow them by 50% for 30 seconds. That kind of goes well with her Blighted Arrow skill, because she will put a purple patch of shit on the ground, and if you stand in it, it will deal 35,000 fire damage every 0.85 seconds, and it will snare you, so you're going to take a lot of damage from that. She also has two other AoE abilities. One's called Black Arrow, where she will fire an explosive black arrow dealing 50,000 shadow damage to a random player and anyone surrounding them, and also something called Unholy Shot, where she will fire a volley of missiles at an enemy and its nearby allies, hitting up to 3 targets for 50,000 shadow damage. This is the part that I find cool here. This is called the Calling of the Highborn, where she goes up into the air and becomes immune and makes this link around her, and if this closes in on you, you die, no questions asked. So what you have to do is you have to focus down one of the ghouls in order for you to be able to just walk out of it and not take any damage or die from it at all. It's pretty cool. I kind of like this fight most, apart from Mirzan, who we're getting on to soon. So before we look at Tyran, this is a quick clip of what the trash before her looks like. Basically you're in this shadow area and beams of light will come down, and if the mobs that are attacking you, the trash, isn't in the beam of light, it'll take 90% reduced damage. So just make sure your tank is pulling everything into the beam of light so that you can kill it pretty easily. And now we're going to take a look at the boss. Just like Sylvanas, she has quite a few abilities, but this is definitely the shiniest of all the bosses, and I like this encounter the most. Her first ability is called Moonbolt, and she will basically smack someone with a blast of moon energy and inflict 30,000 arcane damage to them. Just be wary of that, healers. Next, she will do an AoE effect where she will deal 20,000 arcane damage to all players, and that ability is called Stardust. She has another ability called Moonlance, where she will... It's kind of like on the Jaina fight, where she summons something in front of her, except it starts off as 1 and then splits off into 3. So you need to be careful of that, and it always seemed to target me, which was kind of annoying. I don't like that. Blizzard changed that. If you are to get hit by that, it will inflict 30,000 arcane damage to you and will also stun you for 5 seconds, so don't get hit by it because you'll look stupid. She will also spawn these 2 orbs you can see flying around her now when she gets to about 80% health, I believe it is, and if you get hit by these, she will take 30,000 arcane damage and you'll get silenced for 5 seconds. Not good for healers, not good for spellcasters, don't get hit by it. Sorry, at 80% health, she will get something called Lunar Guidance, which will allow her to cast her spells 25% faster. And basically, you just repeat this up into 30% health, where she will get a new ability called Tears of Elune, and she will basically... it'll rain tears on you, and it'll inflict 10,000 arcane damage to you if you get hit by it, and to get hit you need to be standing within about 4 yards. So with all of this going off, look, you can see why it's really shiny. This boss encounter is amazing. Just make sure those things don't hit me anymore, Blizzard. Thank you. And now it's time for Murozond, which, if you didn't know already, is the evil version of Nosdomo, and it's basically just Nosdomo's name rearranged. It's silly, but never mind, onto the fight. This big dragon it's good. I like this fight as well as the previous one. He has quite a few abilities, but you can see a big egg timer next to me. It's good. I like that egg timer. It's very, 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 very beneficial. So his first ability is called Temporal Blast, and this is just an AoE ability, and it will deal 25,000 shadow damage to all nearby enemies. Healers just need to heal that. It's not much really, I guess. His second ability is called Distortion Bomb, and you can see these little orbs on the floor, and he'll place a bomb there, and it will just create a swirling like vortex. Don't stand in it because it'll inflict damage to you, and it's quite a lot. His next ability is called Flame Breath, and this is where your tanks need to pay attention. The boss cannot be facing the raid, for the love of God, because he will inflict 75,000 fire damage to every enemy that is in front of him when he does this. So yeah, I don't think the healers are going to like that. Next we have Nosdomo. Now, he's not an ability, but he's an NPC, like in Wyrmrest, I guess. He's unable to assist you directly, but he will grant you the Blessing of the Bronze Dragonflight ability. And this will increase your melee, range, and spellcasting speed by 40%, and your movement speed by 40%. And finally, the Hourglass of Time ability, which is quite possibly one of the best things that have been put into this game. I like it. The big egg timer. If you hit the egg timer, time will be rewound to the beginning of the fight. However, the boss's health will stay the same, but all of your cooldowns will be removed and all of the distortion bombs will disappear. And it looks really, really cool as well. Look at it! How amazing is that? This can only be used 5 times throughout the fight, but if you're needing it more than that, then your DPS is just shocking. So I've hoped you've enjoyed this end time dungeon preview. Hopefully the next other dungeons will be available to test soon, because they look just as good, as well as the raid. The raid's going to be amazing! As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for future PTR videos. I've got a few more coming up. I believe the Dauntlin Fair is going to be able to be tested this weekend, so I should hopefully be able to put up a preview of all of the new Dauntlin Fair Island stuff, and it looks pretty cool. Looks like they've done a good job with that. Thank you for watching.